Okay, Mr. Derry here. We're going to take a look at putting on our roof in Revit. Each of you have your own unique challenges with the roof design. I have Grace's house open here and I'm going to experiment with it. Grace, don't worry, I made a copy, so if I wreck it, you'll still have your original house. So let's take a look at what's going on here. So Grace has chosen this kind of farmhouse design, and you'll notice that we have this gable end here tying into a traditional gable roof here. At some point we'll be adding a porch roof, which is at a different pitch, a lower slope, I should say. This is probably a 412, this is probably a 912 pitch, and then we have the garage, and I think Grace is going to do something different with the garage. So I'm going to bump back and forth between this picture here and the Revit model and show you how we would go about doing this. I got started on this already, and if you take a look, I made a stab at putting the roof on here, and I'm going to show you how I got there, and then I'm going to show you what needs to happen here. Grace had these walls go all the way up to the second floor, when that's probably not what we're going to do, because we're going to have bonus space above the garage, but these walls are not going to be full height. We're not going to have a full story above the second garage, and it's likely that many of you are going to have similar scenarios. So let me see how we got here. I drew my roof on the second floor, so I'm going to go to the second floor and show you how to go about drawing that roof on the second floor. Okay, first off, I've already got my roof plan activated, and this is what the roof that you were just looking at looks like when you're in the planning portion. I'm going to delete that and start from scratch. So we're going to go to architecture and go to roof. And again, I'm on the second floor, but I don't want my base of my roof to be the second floor. I want the base to be the roof. I'm drawing on the second floor because I want to use the walls that are visible to select for my roof boundaries. And the nice thing about this is Revit will, if you hover over your wall, it'll put a line on for your roof. Now, Grace has this little bump out here, which is its own unique gable end. If you are doing a dormer or don't have a bump out, I'm going to have to show you another trick for addressing that. I may do that in another video. I don't want to make this video too long. She also has a bump out over here, which creates an interesting challenge. All right, I'm going to hit modify now. I'm going to worry about the garage in a moment. I'm going to select this guy and drag it across, select this guy and drag it across and connect these two dots. You can also draw lines right in the roof command and edit these things, trim them, just like any other detail line tools. Now, to remind you, all of these little triangles are indicating that all of these areas are currently pitched roofs. If I hit OK right now, it's going to generate a roof that looks a lot different than the one in the picture. You can see this is kind of a combination of a hip roof, and it's got a roof within a roof here. I don't know, actually, I don't know why it did that. That's interesting. Oh, it's because it may have had my old roof still on here. I think that's what the issue was. Yeah, let me take my old roof and delete it. Yeah, there we go. So this is what we just generated, and this is called a hip roof, and that's not the style of roof that is present in this picture. So let's go back and how do we go about fixing that? So I'm going to click on this and hit Edit Roof Footprint. I'm going to go back to my second floor view because I want to look at it perpendicular to my plan. And I'm going to go in and delete or actually get rid of these little slopes. And so it says define slope here. I don't want that to define a slope. And I don't want this to define a slope because these are what we refer to as our gable ends. So I'm getting rid of those. This little funky bump out here will leave the same. And notice now, when I hit OK, if I go to my 3D view, it looks more like the picture, particularly if we're looking at this side of the house, which is closer to what we were looking at in this picture here. Okay. So you might say, hey, Mr. Derry, you haven't filled in that wall. And that's really easy to do. We're just going to select that wall and we're going to say attach to, and then select our roof, and boom, that's done. All right, so now we close that up, and we're going to do the same thing over here, right? We want to attach this wall to this guy, right? And if we change the roof pitch and so forth, those things will move with us. Now, how do we address this area over here? This area should have been drawn up to the second floor only. Matter of fact, and again, Grace, don't worry, because this is a copy of your house. It's not the original. I'm going to set this wall, instead of up to the roof, I'm going to go up to the second floor. And actually, I want to do that with all of these. And these interior walls, I'm just going to leave those alone for a moment. So I'm going to select these two. Can it let me do that? Yeah, I can select. If I hold the control button down, I selected them both at the same time. So now I want to put a roof on my garage area. Now, I'm not exactly sure how this is going to play out yet. I think what I'm going to need to do is put a gable roof here and then tie it into this gable roof here. So let's give that a go. And I'm not exactly sure how this is going to play out, but we'll start anyway. So in this case, I'm going to go to the roof command, and instead of the roof being on the basement level, obviously, or the second floor level or the roof level, I'm going to put this roof at the second floor. All right, and now I'm going to click on these walls and generate these guys here and this one, and I'm just going to grab this guy and pull it all the way up and hit my modification, click on this guy and come over across, and now we've got that closed up. And then these two are going to be gable ends, so they don't have a slope, and I'm going to hit OK. Now let's start to take a look at what that looks more like. Now in this picture, the gable end goes the other way because there's like a little mudroom space in between here. But I think in Grace's situation, we're going to want to do it like this. Now the problem is these walls go up too high, and also the problem is this roof and this bonus space above this garage may not be high enough. So we may want to increase the roof pitch on this a little bit so that we get a little bit more room, in which case we would probably want to change it on the whole house to starting to make this a little bit bigger, but we'll talk about that later. I'm already 8 minutes in here. I don't want to go too far. For now, I'm going to get rid of these walls just so they're not a distraction. Again, ultimately we would be closing these things up like that, and we can do that any time, and we can edit our walls at any point. But we've got an issue here where we don't have any roof covering this part of the house. We also have these walls, which really aren't. I'm going to have those, get rid of those for now, because those are going to get drawn a little bit differently. We need to put a section of roof in here. A little concerned that this distance exceeds this distance, which would present a little bit of a challenge, but we'll see. I'm going to put a roof on this guy right now by going back to my going back to my first floor. Looking at this is the area that I need to add a roof right now. So I'm going to say roof. I don't want it to start at the first floor. I want it to start at the second floor. And I'm going to select these two guys here. And then I'm just going to, for now, get a line and connect these two. Now, I'm not exactly sure how this is going to play out, and this is going to be true on yours as well. You're going to probably have to go in and edit some things. We don't want those to be sloped, so I'm going to grab my modify and get rid of that slope. And let's see what this looks like right now. Okay, that's closer. I'm going to look at it straight on here. And the good news is this roof is lower than this roof, so that makes it easier for me to join these things up. Okay, in order to join these two roofs, we're going to go under the Modify command, and we're going to hit this Join button over here, and we're going to select the roof that we want to join, and then select the surface we want to join it to, and it's that easy. Now, in addressing this open wall here, there's a way to edit this exterior wall, and I'd probably get rid of this wall, and I would go in and edit the face of this wall. And I'm not going to show you in great detail how to do that right now, but I do want to show you just a hint of what that looks like. So just like editing the footprint of the roof, if you click here and hit Edit Profile, you can then take this and you know, stretch it out or turn it up, or you know, you can see that ultimately I have the ability. I'm getting an error message here. I'm just gonna do a really rough job just to show you the capability of this feature. This is not the end all here. I'm not sure if I connected those or not. Yeah, so you can see now I've got a wall that's got a funky shape to it that'll fill in that. So once you get the hang of it, I'll show you how to make sectional views. You can actually use the reference material of your roof line here, and we can fill that in. And the way that I did that, the good news is if we go to the second floor here for a moment and I create a sectional view, where is that? Under Views section. I'm going to create a sectional view right here for a moment. I want to flip the direction of that view, so I'm looking this way. And if I double click on this, you can see now that that wall that I edited, this would be the view to edit that wall, by the way, I can see into this room. Grace has a door there, which is a good indicator that there's not a lot of room in this walkthrough into this bonus room above the garage. It's going to be kind of tight. I'm going to do a section view in the garage and see, but if we change this roof pitch to even a 10-12 pitch on both of them, I think we'd get enough room that you could get through there as a hallway and then have a little bit of space above the garage for kind of a little cave area, depending on what you want to do. The garage is a little wider, so we might have enough space there. But you can see if we were to edit this wall in this view, we can easily just follow these lines here and get our wall to match. So you know, I would take this and drag it up like that. Whoops, drag this guy up to that, and you got the idea. And start to fill in that space. All right. I've already talked for too long. We're 13 minutes in, and everyone's going to have questions unique to